poem for us to write.
Okay. That's okay. So you want to read the poem for us, please?
Yes. All changes are hard, but quarantine's tough. I don't know about you, but I've had quite enough. Still, since we all have kindness in our heart, we must make sure we stay 6 feet apart.
I thought that's just great. I know Mrs. Horgan's sitting there smiling because she's a high school English teacher in her blood, and now the director of curriculum. And I know she's probably just tickled at hearing. I don't know, Maura, if you want to chime in. What would you grade that, Maura, if he were in high school?
I would grade that an A+ for his construction, but an A++ for the emotion that it evoked, because it was one of those things where I'm a little teary now even, and I read it earlier today, but hearing you talk about it, so you nailed it, buddy. So you got that poetry down. So well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what have you heard from anybody today about that? What'd your teacher have to say about that? What did Miss Salyer say about it?
She really.
I talked to her earlier. He was out and about for a few minutes, but she said she had talked to quite a few of you, and she had talked to her family and stuff, and basically the same thing you said. She's very proud of him, and coming from him, he's so humble. He's like, it took me 10 minutes, Mom. It's not that big of a deal. But so I'm keep telling him it is a big deal. It's a really, really good poem. So
yeah.
So is Mom giving you a special treat for supper tonight for it? Not to put any pressure on Mom, but
tell him what's
I don't think so. I mean, there's a whole chicken in the oven right now.
nothing wrong with that.
That sounds good to me.
Really.
Well, Gavin, I know your Aunt Lisa is proud of you. She texted me and told me you were going to be doing this tonight. So she thinks you're pretty sharp. And you're going to blow up Twitter, man. Okay. That'd be okay with me. So, but I got to ask you honestly, are you really tired of it? Or is that just a line in the poem?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're pretty tired of it?
Yeah, I've been FaceTiming my friends a lot. I just can't. I've been getting emotional about it, so it's really hard.
Yeah, I talk about that with my son who's in 12th grade, and both he and I get a little emotional about it too.
Yeah.
Because it's a hard thing to go through. I appreciate your thoughts on that though. Kindness kind of rules the day, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Be kind. So, Mr. Ute.
Anything else for Gavin? His mother?
Great job.
Thanks for sharing the poem.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great job.
Thank
you.
Great job, buddy.
We all think you're special, Gavin, and we appreciate you writing that because as Mrs. Horgan talked about the emotion of that, certainly somebody read that today and it touched all of us, and you helped us today understand that. And for a fourth grader in 10 minutes, it'd take me 10 minutes to find a pencil to start, that way. So, but I'm really proud. We all are so proud of you and what you're doing, and your mother for supporting you that way. And we just appreciate it. It was short notice for you to get on here and share with us, but it'll be the highlight of our evening. And we've got a lot of good things going on, but you're the highlight of our evening. So thank you very much, buddy. Okay.
thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Gavin.
See you, Gavin.
Bye.
Thanks,
Thank you for
Gavin.
having me. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for coming.
Thanks, Gavin.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right.
Wow.
Hey, Seth, on our communication from the floor, did we get anything from anybody today that we need to?
We did not receive anything today. I sent out the link Monday afternoon and we haven't received anything.
Okay. Then I'm guessing that Julio has some recommendations for us.
Yes, I do. I have 3 items this evening. Item number 1 is the approval of board minutes regular meeting April 13, 2020. Special meeting April 20, 2020. Special meeting April 21, 2020. Special meeting April 23rd, 2020, and special meeting April 28, 2020. The second item is the approval of April 2020 financial reports. Usually have a detailed report, and I also send you a summary sheet on Monday, where kind of goes on a summary, our revenues through April. We are at $69.9 million compared to last year's revenues at 72, down to about $2.6 million, or about 4% compared to last fiscal year through the month of April. Expenditures through April are $62.9 million compared to last fiscal year at 60.2. We're up $2.6 million on the revenue, on the expenditure side. Current cash balance at the bottom left-hand side corner of the screen shows that we currently have $48.4 million compared to prior year cash balance of 46.6. At this point in time, we're up 4% over last fiscal year in the cash balance. In the middle of that box, you see the investments. We have a total amount of $14.7 million in various tools for investments. And so far through this fiscal year, we are earnings of $705,873. Overall revenues and expenditures, as well as cash balance, are on target with the projections. Yet we have 2 more months to go. We are expecting that by the end of fiscal year, purchased services and supplies expenditures are going to be relatively lower than expected due to the COVID-19 over the last quarter of this fiscal year. And that will summarize my report. Any questions? Hearing none. The third item is the approval of the amended resolutions for the issuance of bonds. This is, again, we approved this resolution last month, but we needed to add another piece of language in that resolution that relates to being a part of the credit rating through ODE. Once we get this approved, we'll send it to our attorneys and to ODE, and as the market gets better, then we'll see the opportunity to refund the old bonds.
Okay. So treasurer's recommendations A, B, and C. Is there a motion for that?
So moved.
Thank you, Tom. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Warren. Any discussion on that?
It doesn't directly pertain to that, but I just thought I'd ask Julio if he's had word that I saw on, I think it was, I have no idea why I was on WLWT's, I think it was, website today, and they had the state cuts by district.
Yes.
They were saying our cut for this year is $1,077,000. Is that
Correct.
read what you've seen?
That is the document that is put out by the Ohio Department of Education. It's about 1.48% of our expected receipts, and that amounts to $1,077,000 for fiscal year 2020. Now,
Right.
Fiscal year 2021 will be a different picture. We don't know yet what that number is going to be, but we are estimating that it will probably be anywhere between 3 to 10% next fiscal year. That's yet to be known. Hopefully by November, we'll have better numbers to go by. And when we update the November, we'll have those dollar figures to update the forecast in November. But at least we know now what is going to happen in fiscal year 2020.
Could have been worse.
Yes, we were expecting, I was expecting 5 to 10%, and we ended up with 1.5%, so which is not bad overall.
Any other discussion? Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Blind,
Yes.
Mr. Weber,
Yes.
Mr. Flowers,
Yeah.
Ms. Nickam,
Yes.
and Mr. Carter.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, sir. Superintendent recommendation.
Okay. We have 6 staff members who have either retired or resigned. One of them, Julie Hockenberry, who's art at Hillview and Clem, is retiring, and we appreciate Julie's work in the district. We also have, and I want to add this because it's a late one to the agenda, Gloria Wilson's replacement in my office for administrative assistant will be Julie Schoenberger, and she will be on step 6 at $22.22 an hour. And we're excited to have Julie come down to the office. She has earned that position. And so it's going to be, she knows they're big shoes to fill, but she'll put on some small shoes at first, and eventually she'll fit into those new shoes here, big shoes. So also we have new hires. I want to commend Barbara Quackenbush and her efforts with all our principals and our directors. We are very good in this district at getting out of the gate and getting into those colleges and universities and starring the ones we really like. They're the green little dot peoples is what we call them. And we get on them and get them hired in early May before others get to them. And the good thing is that we are seeing a large number of students who are looking for positions, looking at Newark. And so that's a compliment to our district. But I do want to thank, it's a big effort between Barb and all our principals, and Maura and Mindy also help a lot with that. So thank you to that group. And I'll make mention of a parent mentor, Brittany Collins, who's a parent in our district. Brittany is going to replace Ronnie Booyer, who took the wellness position in the district. And Ronnie did a fantastic job with that. We're really excited to welcome Brittany on our team. Also a list of guest teachers on there. And then under other, again, I mention this every time it happens, there's a substitute to not be reemployed. Then that's due to the 60 days and over, and it's not about job performance. Under B, I'm going to ask Barbara to chime in here under evaluations. We worked with our legal team here to construct this language. And Barb, do you want to pop in here for a minute, please?
Yep, sure. Thank you, Mr. Ute. Hello, everybody. Just want to touch base and give a few highlights of the resolution regarding the evaluation process. This resolution is basically sharing that because of the Ohio Director of Health's order on March 12th, ordering the closure of schools at that time in Ohio, that it is impossible or impracticable for our building principals to complete the evaluation process. This resolution does allow us that if we had a staff member who has value-added information that carried over into this school year, that when their evaluation was completed, we can count that for any of those staff members that would fall under that piece of this, but of the evaluation process. The rest of the staff members that do not have an SLO, along with an SLO or value added, would be reevaluated next year. So basically, that is what this resolution is saying, that for any staff member that met the requirements, if they had the value added this year, their evaluation is able to count. Most are not going to be able to count because of the closure of school, and we will start fresh with evaluations next year.
Okay, thanks, Barb. And After evaluation is a long list of contracts recommended for certified staff. And I'll talk about our staff here at the end, but we have our teachers and our administrators on that list. So we'll take and stop right there and get approval on those items 1 through 8.
All right. A motion to approve superintendent's recommendations, A 1 through 8, please.
So moved.
Thanks, Mike. Is there a second?
Second,
That sounded like Tom.
that was Tom.
Yeah. Any discussion? All right. Seeing none. Julio, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Blowers,
Yes.
Mr. Blind,
Yes.
Ms. Nickum,
Yes.
Mr. Weber,
Yes.
and Mr. Carr.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right.
Okay, under students and curriculum, we have some contracts, one with Bridgeway Academy and the other with Hogland, which we currently have students in there that are being served to our satisfaction and the family satisfaction. There's 2 contracts with the Licking County ESC, one for the Phoenix School, where we just basically buy seats down there to be able to send students to. And also a list of graduates, which I will talk about graduation at the end, and approval of our handbooks for students and parents.
All right. So superintendent's recommendations B and just B. I don't see a C.
Just be, yeah, we're going to do.
Yeah. A motion for that, please.
So moved.
Thanks. A second.
I'll second.
Thanks, Tom and Warren. Any
Actually, it was Mike.
discussion on those?
By Blowers.
Was it Mike? Any discussion on those? All right. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Blowers,
Yes.
Mr. Weber,
Yes.
Mr. Blind,
Yes.
Ms. Nickum,
Yes.
Mr. Carr.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right.
Okay, Seth, if you would scroll down under business for me, please. I think I've had a request to pull out D2 and D3 and vote on them separately. So we will look at item D1, approval of E-rate contracts, and item 4, suspension of extracurricular transportation fees. The board did this a few years ago. We bring it back each year. And one of the things that the board wanted to do is make sure we were monitoring that the cost for that was not going up and out of control. And our coaches, under the direction of Jeff Quackenbush, and our directors and the choir, band, and orchestra have all taken care of that very well and are very mindful and very appreciative, as I know our booster groups are very appreciative of what the board does. So items 1 and 4, excuse me.
All right. The motion for items 1 and 4 under business section.
So move.
Thanks, Bev. Second.
Second.
All right. Any discussion on those? All right. Call the roll, please.
Ms. Nickum,
Yes.
Mr. Blind,
Yes.
Mr. Blowers,
Yes.
Mr. Weber,
Yes.
and Mr. Carr.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, D2 then we'll pull out and vote separately is accepting of bids. It's recommended the Board of Education accept the bids for the catwalk project at Newark High School. This is the area in the boiler room where they're should have done this a few years ago. I think probably when we were building under the construction project to make maintenance so much easier and more efficient and a lot safer.
All right, Doug, are we doing 2 and 3 both at the same time or just one?
No. Well, yeah, we can do them both at the same time.
We can
Yeah.
do both.
because of- Yep. I apologize. Yeah, we can do them both at the same time. And then the bid for the catwalk project to Robertson Construction Services. So items 2 and 3.
Can we get a motion for items 2 and 3, please?
So moved. Take your.
And yeah,
Move Blind and second Weber.
sounds good.
Okay.
I didn't, but I would.
Any discussion on this, fella? Well,
Yeah, I would like to say that it's my understanding that Robertson is appointing my fiance, Mark Keith, as the project manager of this project.
That's our understanding. Good for us.
It's mine also. Oh, yeah, it makes for a real interesting household conversations if things go awry. I learned that over the bus garage.
Well, good for the district. Mark's really good.
So are you saying you're going to abstain, or are you saying that he's not going to be your fiance any longer?
Possibly both.
All right. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Blind,
Yes.
Mr. Weber,
Yes.
Mr. Blowers,
Yes.
Ms. Nickam,
Abstain.
and Mr. Carr.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right. Any board reports that we need to do? All right. If not, then board discussion. And we'll start with you, Mike Blowers.
Oh, well, I'm looking forward to getting together again, face to face. But just having a good day. So thank you. Thanks to everybody who's working extra hard on bringing the school year to a close. And the graduation, our graduation ceremonies, and I don't know what you call it, a ceremony or celebrations. Congratulations to all of our graduating seniors. So that's on the top of my list. Thank you.
Thanks. Tom?
Mike said everything I want to say, so it's ditto what Mike said.
Hey, that's good, Tom.
Warren?
Good brief.
No, I don't have anything to say. I'm good.
Bev?
Yes, I just wanted to say thanks again to Gavin for sharing his poem with everyone and apparently now the entire world. But it is difficult time, and I think that's what makes this poem so nice, and because it's relatable to everyone. It's not just the students that are having some issues, the adults were struggling also. And I think he really captured that. And we've talked a lot about what the staff and the teachers are doing, but you know, the parents and the students are doing a tremendous job of, you know, doing what they can do at home and to keep the education going. And thank you to Gavin and to all the students and the parents out there making it happen.
Wonderful, wonderful. Julio?
Actually, yes, I want to thank Gavin for sharing that. It was kind of teary-eyed there as he was reading it, it just hit the spot. And also, as Mike says, I can't wait until we have a face-to-face meeting. Looking forward to those again.
Yes.
I'm with you. Mr. Ute?
Yeah, I would talk a little bit about our seniors and graduation and congratulations to all of them. You know, it's obviously unprecedented times, and we're trying to celebrate their accomplishments the best we can and still be safe. And so May 12th, I almost said March 12th, May 12th, we will be passing out caps and gowns, yard signs, awards, certificates, those type of things. We have in because suppliers have had trouble over, which is understandable, the last month. And we'll be doing that down at Whitefield. Mr. Bowman will be making an announcement to the seniors that they can pick up down there, stay in their cars. We looked at a lot of different things. I know Mr. Carr was part of that conversation from the board perspective and a parent in our group talks. And, just appreciate Tim's time, his input. And, we met with our seniors and, doing the best we can to celebrate what they are, but staying safe. So, I would just tell our seniors and their families that we will do that. We're going to create a video for them that we think will be done second week of June for Matt Dunham and his group will do that. And then there's the promise of something when it's safe, a graduation when it's safe. And we can't say whether that would be the summer, Thanksgiving weekend, over Christmas next year, or even a possibility of next May after the class of 2021 graduates. Then anybody who wanted to come across the stage from the class of 2020, after a few hours after that and have their own. So we're doing the best we can, and we sympathize with the situation, but we're going to remain safe. So we'll be giving more information about that in the future. And thanks for your patience to our seniors and the community. The other thing I want to talk about this week is Teacher Appreciation Week. And, it was, and I think it's Nurse Appreciation Day today. And I am happily married to a school nurse myself of 28 years. And I'm out in my little man cave office out in my garage, and I shut my door because my wife had some folks, some staff members and students bring her some balloons, and they're on the deck talking in celebration of that Nurses Day. And to our nurses in the Newark City School, your job has changed dramatically over my 35 years in education and 20 years as a school superintendent. Their job has really changed. It went from taking temperature and calling home and saying, Bill has a stomach ache or a temperature, into meds and diabetes things and so many different types of issues that our students are coming to school with. And we just appreciate, we've got wonderful building nurses, and we so much appreciate the guidance from that group of folks in our district. And then I think we witnessed tonight Mrs. Salyer's assignment. Gavin couldn't have explained that better. I thought that was a great assignment for our students to go through. And we appreciate Gavin and his mom showing up and that. But Mrs. Salyer just represents about 500 staff members that we have in our district, teachers that we have in our district that, I stay in contact with a lot of districts, and our staff members are right there providing that opportunity for education. In the Newark City schools over the past 7-8 weeks, there's not anybody I've heard from that's doing any better than what we're doing, and most aren't providing what we're providing. So our staff members have stepped up to the challenge and really soared like an eagle during this, with a lot of confidence, a lot of pride, and a lot of caring for our students and their families. And just appreciate when you're talking about Teacher Appreciation Week. At the beginning, we talking about financial things, and we need to continue to concentrate to take care of our students and their families. I was invited to get on Kevin Cannon and Christy Brooks Zoom with their class, special needs class from Wilson Middle School. And it was Cinco de Mayo, and they cooked for them. And I was just touched at what Kevin and Christy were doing with the students. The students were so engaged and so excited they made food, and they basically went through step by step and asked each person what they wanted in their food, and then they delivered it to their houses. And the kids were so excited about that. And it just makes me appreciate our staff in this district. And so I wanted to take a few minutes doing that. And then I'll wrap up tonight. And I will thank Denise Wiley for her leadership of the Newark Teachers Association over the past several years. I don't know how many years she's been doing it, maybe 8. I think she is the outgoing president of our Teachers Association. And so I wanted to take that time to thank Denise for what she's doing, and welcome Angie Atkins, who's been active in the leadership of the union, and Angie will be the president next year. So we appreciate our teachers union and our staff members. So that's all, Tim.
All right, I appreciate all that, and looking forward to seeing how all that graduation stuff goes. I am, kind of in the middle of that. I've got a senior, and so we're walking through that stuff too. It's going to be a wonderful time there on Tuesday, and then we'll see what else comes about. Gavin, thank you. Incredible stuff. Teachers and parents, as you're teaching, we're swimming in uncharted waters. Nobody's done this before. There's not a manual. There's not a how-to. But you guys are being so creative and so helpful. Today was History Day for me. As I was sitting here studying, Allie was doing some history. And every once in a while I get to engage her in something, because I do understand and remember what she's talking about. So that makes for some wonderful, wonderful conversation. And but I do want to just finish by saying a tremendous group of seniors, and looking forward to seeing how we send them off, and trying to honor them in the absolute best way possible. Know that your district is so proud of you, and so we're doing the best we can for you. And Gavin, by the way, probably 1.3 million people saw this tonight, maybe 1.4. So with that said, I'm gonna be quiet. Executive session, though, I need a motion for executive session to discuss personnel issues. There will be no business when we return. So could I get a motion?
So move.
Thanks, Bev. Is there a second?
Yep. Second.
Yep.
Yep.
It sounded like, is that Tom?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. All right. Would you call that roll, please?
Ms. Nickum,
Yes.
Mr. Blind,
Yes.
Mr. Blowers,
Yes.
Mr. Weber, and Mr. Carr.
Yes.
We are in executive session.